In a world where money anxiety governs hearts and decisions, there exists a forgotten truth, a silent yet infinite force that doesn't come from banks or markets, but from the very center of your being. This force is spiritual, ancient as time and powerful as the universe itself. Joseph Murphy called it the power of the subconscious mind, but here, in this journey, you will discover it as economic prayer. This is not a common text. It is a sacred key, a doorway into a new covenant with abundance, where your word becomes cause and your faith becomes wealth. Through teachings inspired by one of the great masters of modern metaphysical thought, you will learn to unlock the divine potential sleeping within you and use it to attract money, opportunities, and prosperity as naturally as you breathe. Prepare to reprogram your deepest beliefs, because when prayer meets conviction and desire aligns with faith, financial miracles are no longer exceptions. They become your new normal. Let us begin. Wealth is a state of consciousness. It is not the result of chance or the mere accumulation of material goods, but the reflection of a mind aligned with the infinite abundance of the universe. When you understand that divine provision is always available, and that money is a manifestation of right thinking, you begin to see prayer as the most powerful channel to bring prosperity into your life. Prayer is not a desperate plea or a request for help in times of need. It is an affirmation of faith, a declaration of certainty that abundance is your natural right. Every word you speak with conviction is like a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious, and that seed over time will bear fruit in the form of wealth, opportunities, and financial success. Throughout history, men and women who have understood the power of prayer have discovered that unwavering faith in divine provision is the secret to attracting everything necessary in life. The riches of the world are within reach of those who know how to align with the source of all abundance, and prayer is the means through which that connection is strengthened. Prayer, a direct channel to divine abundance. God is the source of all wealth. Every coin, every transaction, every financial opportunity is simply a manifestation of the infinite provision that already exists in the universe. When you pray with faith, you activate a spiritual law that moves invisible forces in your favor. It is not a matter of chance or luck, but of an eternal law that responds to the conviction with which you make your request. Economic prayers do not work because you beg for help in desperation, but because through them you affirm the truth that abundance is already present in your life. It is not about asking for wealth, but about recognizing that wealth is yours by divine right and opening your mind to receive it. How the subconscious responds to financial prayers. The subconscious is the bridge between the spiritual world and the material world. Everything you sow in it with faith and emotion will manifest in your external reality. If you pray from a place of certainty, your subconscious will absorb that idea and begin to guide you toward actions, opportunities, and circumstances that will bring prosperity. However, if deep inside you harbor doubt, fear, or a sense of unworthiness, the subconscious will act as a guardian and reject wealth, because it cannot create what contradicts your deepest beliefs. The secret for financial prayer to work is to align your inner feeling with the truth that abundance is natural and accessible to you. That is why it is essential that every prayer be made with anticipated gratitude, as if the answer had already been given. When you pray with the conviction that the money is already on its way, your subconscious begins to act to bring it into your life, because faith is the secret ingredient of prosperity. Faith is the bridge between thought and reality. Without faith, a prayer is just a collection of empty words. But when faith fills every word, it becomes an unshakable command to the subconscious and to the universe. When you pray for wealth, you cannot do it from doubt or anxiety. You cannot plant a seed today and dig it up tomorrow to see if it has grown. Faith implies absolute certainty, an unwavering security that the money you need has already been provided on the spiritual plane, and that soon you will see it manifested on the material plane. The great business people, successful investors, and prosperous entrepreneurs have all, in one way or another, learned to apply the principle of faith in their financial lives. They see opportunities where others see crises, they act with confidence where others are afraid, and they move forward boldly because they believe in the expansion of wealth instead of its scarcity. When you immerse yourself in prayer with true faith, you enter a vibrational frequency in which abundance becomes an inevitable reality. It's not a question of if it will come, but when. The difference between a prayer of lack and a prayer of wealth. Many people pray for money, but they do it from a state of anguish and desperation. That kind of prayer does not attract prosperity. It attracts more lack. Those who pray saying, "My God, please give me money because I don't have enough," are actually reinforcing the idea of scarcity in their subconscious. The universe responds to the vibration of the prayer, not the exact words. On the other hand, a prayer of wealth does not beg, does not plead, does not doubt. It declares, affirms, and gives thanks. Compare these two prayers. A prayer of lack. "My God, please help me pay my debts. I'm desperate and I don't know what to do." Prayer of wealth. "Thank you, Father, because abundance flows into my life with ease. Every day I am more prosperous. Every day I receive more than I need." Do you notice the difference? The first prayer reinforces lack, while the second establishes the certainty of wealth. Never pray from fear or from a sense of lack. Pray with anticipated gratitude, as if you had already received what you desire. What this book will reveal about the power of financial prayer. Throughout this book, you will learn how to use prayer as a real and effective tool to transform your financial life. You will discover how to structure economic prayers that reprogram your subconscious for wealth, how to eliminate financial blockages through faith and autosuggestion, specific prayers to bring opportunities, business success and prosperity, the role of gratitude in the multiplication of money, how to develop a wealth mindset through daily prayer. Financial prayer is not a simple ritual, it is an exact science. When done correctly, with conviction and certainty, the results are inevitable. Money, financial stability, and success are not accidents. They are manifestations of a mind that has learned to pray and believe correctly. If you apply the principles of this book with discipline and faith, you will soon see changes in your financial life. Wealth is your divine right, and through prayer you will learn to claim it and to live in permanent abundance. The time has come to transform your relationship with money, to open yourself to infinite provision, and to experience in your life the wealth that has always been available to you. This book will be your guide in that journey. Your abundance begins now. The Power of Financial Prayer, How to Attract Abundance with Spiritual Strength, by Joseph Murphy. We've noticed that over 90% of those who visit our channel are not subscribed. You can support this project by clicking the subscribe button and liking the video. Thank you for inspiring us to continue creating more and better content for you. Are you ready to transform your life? Chapter 1. The Spiritual Principle of Prosperity. Prosperity is a natural expression of divine law. There is no lack in the universe because God is the infinite source of all wealth. Every star in the sky, every fruit-bearing tree, every drop of water in the oceans is a manifestation of this unchanging truth. Abundance is the norm of the universe, not the exception. If you observe nature, you'll notice there is no scarcity in it. Trees don't struggle to produce leaves. Rivers don't worry about their flow. The sun doesn't withhold its light. Likewise, financial abundance is not something to be achieved through struggle or excessive sacrifice. It is something to be allowed to flow through your consciousness. The reason many people live in scarcity is not because God has decreed poverty for them, but because they have accepted the false idea that money is hard to come by, that prosperity is only for a few, or that life is a constant fight for survival. These deeply rooted beliefs in the subconscious block the flow of wealth and create a reality of limitation. However, when you understand that abundance is a universal principle and that prayer is the key to aligning with it, you begin to radically transform your financial life. God is the infinite source of all wealth. All wealth comes from God. Every coin that reaches your hands, every financial opportunity, every business idea is merely a channel through which the infinite divine provision expresses itself in your life. But the original source is always the same, the infinite intelligence that sustains the universe. Money, business, clients, promotions, successful investments, these are merely effects. The true cause of prosperity is the consciousness of abundance. Jesus said, "Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you." Matthew 6:33. This passage is not a metaphor, but a spiritual truth that few understand. When you first seek connection with the divine source, when aligning your mind with the law of abundance becomes your priority, everything else, including money, success, and opportunities, will follow. Do not make the mistake of depending exclusively on external sources for your prosperity. Your job, your investments, your businesses are simply channels of provision, but they are not the source. If you place your trust in them, you will always live in fear because channels can change. But if you place your trust in God as the inexhaustible source of wealth, you will never fear lack again. Just as a river may change course, but the ocean remains limitless, your income sources may shift, but divine provision never runs out. Whenever you face a financial difficulty, instead of worrying, repeat with certainty, "God is my inexhaustible source of provision. I depend on no one and nothing. Wealth flows to me constantly and perfectly." Abundance as a universal law. Just as the law of gravity exists, there also exists a spiritual law of abundance. This law states that like attracts like. If you think of scarcity, speak of scarcity, and fear scarcity, you will inevitably attract more scarcity. But if in your mind and heart you hold the certainty of abundance, your reality will reflect that conviction. This is not just about positive thinking or good intentions. It's about fully aligning your being with the vibration of prosperity. Think of a magnet. It doesn't have to struggle to attract metal. It simply does so because it's aligned with the right frequency. The same is true of wealth. You don't need to chase it. You need to align with it through prayer, faith, and the absolute certainty that abundance is your divine right. Most people make the mistake of thinking they must first see money in their hands to feel prosperous. But the universal law states that you must first feel prosperous within for money to manifest without. If you feel poor, even with money, you will eventually lose it. But if you feel rich, even without money, abundance will inevitably find its way to you. Try this exercise right now. Close your eyes and visualize your life filled with wealth. Don't think about how the money will come. Just feel it as a present reality. Feel the gratitude of knowing that abundance flows to you effortlessly. The more you practice this mental state, the faster the universal law will respond and bring the necessary circumstances and opportunities to make that vision a reality. How to align your mind with wealth through prayer. Prayer is the most powerful method to align your mind with abundance. When you pray with faith, you are programming your subconscious to receive wealth. But there is a common mistake in how many people pray for money. They pray from need, from desperation, from fear. They ask God to help them as if they were begging. This kind of prayer only reinforces scarcity. The right way to pray is from certainty, from anticipated gratitude, from the absolute conviction that divine provision has already been given. Instead of saying, "Dear God, please help me pay my bills," say with conviction, "Thank you, Father, because my life is filled with abundance. I know that everything I need is already on its way and will arrive at the perfect time." This subtle change in the way you pray makes all the difference. When you pray with certainty, your subconscious receives the command to manifest that reality, and the universe responds with circumstances that bring more money into your life. Prayer is a magnet for prosperity. Prayer not only connects you with the divine source, it also activates the power of your subconscious to bring prosperity. Every time you pray with faith and confidence, you send a clear signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. That signal activates opportunities, moves people in your favor, and opens unexpected paths for money to flow into your life. Say this prayer every morning with absolute conviction. God is my infinite source of provision. My life is surrounded by wealth and opportunities. Each day I receive more than I need, and I share it joyfully. I am a magnet for prosperity, and abundance flows into my life effortlessly and without limits. Thank you, Father, because I know that everything I need is already mine. If you repeat this prayer with faith and maintain this mindset throughout your day, you will begin to see new financial opportunities manifest. Business ideas arise, unexpected solutions appear, and a constant flow of money begin. Wealth is not something you must chase. It is something you must allow. Prayer is the means through which you open the door for abundance to enter your life without resistance. In the next chapter, we will explore how to structure economic prayers that remove financial blocks and immediately activate the flow of wealth. The time has come to unleash the power of prayer to transform your economy. Chapter 2. The Law of Economic Prayer. Prayer is a creative force, a power that shapes reality according to the deepest convictions of the individual. When used correctly, prayer can transform one's personal economy as powerfully and effectively as any financial strategy. The mistake many make is to think of prayer as a mere act of supplication, a desperate plea directed toward an external power. But true prayer is a declaration of faith, a decree of certainty that reprograms the subconscious mind and activates the spiritual forces of abundance. When a person prays from a place of doubt, anxiety, or desperation, they are sending a contradictory message to their subconscious. But when they pray from the absolute conviction that wealth has already been provided, the subconscious responds by attracting opportunities, ideas, resources, and people who facilitate the manifestation of money. Why can prayer transform your economy? Because all wealth begins in the mind. The reason why some people live in constant prosperity, while others struggle with economic hardship, does not lie in their job, education, or circumstances, but in the programming of their subconscious mind. The subconscious is the soil in which the seeds of thought are sown, later growing into lived realities. If seeds of fear, lack, and worry are planted, the person will harvest more of those experiences. But if the soil receives seeds of trust, gratitude, and abundance, the harvest will be a prosperous financial reality. Prayer is the most powerful tool for planting the right ideas in the subconscious. It is not just about repeating empty words, but about immersing the mind in the certainty of abundance and sustaining that feeling until it becomes an unshakable belief. When a prayer is spoken with faith, it becomes an unbreakable command to the subconscious mind. And once the subconscious receives that command, it begins to act on all levels to make it a reality. How the subconscious receives decrees of abundance. The subconscious does not reason or question. It simply accepts what is repeated to it with conviction. This is why many people who grew up in environments where scarcity, crisis, and financial struggle were constantly spoken of end up manifesting those very conditions in their adult lives. However, just as the subconscious can be programmed for lack, it can also be reprogrammed for wealth. And the most effective way to do that is through prayer, repeated with faith and emotion. The secret lies in emotion. It's not enough to say a prayer mechanically. It must be felt as an absolute truth. If someone repeats, "I am prosperous and money flows to me," but inside feels fear and doubt, the prayer will be ineffective. But if they say it with the absolute certainty that it is already true, then their subconscious will accept it and begin to manifest it. The subconscious is like a garden. Every prayer is a seed, and each repetition strengthens its growth. At first, it may seem like nothing is changing, but over time, the programming of scarcity fades away, and the new programming of abundance begins to bloom. The structure of an effective financial prayer. Not all economic prayers are equally effective. Certain principles must be applied to ensure the prayer produces real and tangible results. Present tense. The subconscious only responds to what it perceives as a current reality. Instead of saying, "I will have wealth," say, "I am prosperous now, in this moment." Gratitude in advance. Gratitude is a sign of certainty. When you give thanks before receiving, you are demonstrating absolute faith that the wealth has already been given. Affirmative and positive language. Do not say, "I want to get out of debt," as that reinforces the idea of debt. Instead say, "I always have more than enough to meet my needs and live in abundance." Emotional repetition. Prayer is not just a set of words, it is a vibration of certainty that must be felt with intensity every time it is repeated. Clear visualization. While praying, imagine your life filled with wealth. See the money flowing to you. Feel the peace of living without financial worries. Experience gratitude for all that you have. Examples of prayers that have generated wealth. Prayer to attract money with ease. God is my inexhaustible source of provision. Money flows to me from all directions and in many forms. I am surrounded by prosperous opportunities, and each day my wealth increases more and more. Thank you, Father, because I know that abundance is my natural state, and all that I need has already been provided. Prayer to eliminate debt and restore financial flow. I'm completely free from debt. My financial life is in order, and money flows to me effortlessly. I'm grateful for the prosperity that surrounds me and the blessing of always having more than I need. Abundance expands in my life constantly and without interruption. Prayer to open to new financial opportunities. Today is a day of prosperity and success. Every step I take brings me closer to new financial opportunities. My mind is open to receive millionaire ideas, valuable connections, and unexpected blessings. I know that abundance comes to me in perfect and divine ways. Thank you, Father, because I'm already prosperous. Prayer to develop a millionaire mindset. I'm a magnet for wealth and prosperity. I think, speak, and act with the certainty that money always comes to me in abundance. Wealth is part of my nature, and everything I do prospers. I am blessed with success, fortune, and well-being in all areas of my life. The law of economic prayer is simple but powerful. What you decree with faith and emotion becomes your reality. If you have lived in scarcity until now, it is not because abundance is unavailable to you, but because your subconscious has been programmed with ideas of limitation. But now, you hold in your hands the tool to rewrite your financial destiny. From this moment on, make prayer a daily habit. Each morning, each night, and every time you face a thought of doubt, replace it with a declaration of faith. In the next chapter, we will learn how prayer can dissolve hidden financial blockages and immediately release the flow of prosperity. The time has come to eradicate all resistance to abundance and allow wealth to flow into your life without limits. Chapter 3. The prayer to release financial blockages. Wealth flows naturally into the life of the one who has learned to receive it without resistance. God did not create scarcity or economic suffering. Abundance is the universal law. However, many people find themselves trapped in an endless cycle of lack. They strive, work hard, and seek opportunities, but something invisible seems to block the path to prosperity. That something is none other than fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs lodged in the subconscious mind. Fear is the greatest barrier to abundance. It is a corrosive emotion that closes the doors of provision and keeps a person trapped in a scarcity mindset. Whoever fears losing money, doubts their ability to generate wealth, or constantly worries about their financial future, is sending a clear message to the subconscious. I don't have enough. Scarcity is real. Prosperity is not secure. And since the subconscious accepts what is repeatedly told to it with emotion and conviction, it turns that fear into reality. This is how the cycle of poverty perpetuates itself. Fear generates more fear, and scarcity becomes a permanent state. To break this destructive pattern, fear must be replaced with faith, doubt with certainty, and scarcity with a consciousness of abundance. The subconscious mind responds to images and words it receives repeatedly. If it has been fed thoughts of limitation for years, it must now be reprogrammed with prosperity decrees. And the most powerful tool to achieve this is prayer. A well-formulated prayer has the power to erase decades of negative conditioning. When repeated with absolute faith, prayer acts as a direct command to the subconscious, freeing it from ideas that have restricted the flow of wealth. It does not matter how many times you've failed, how long you've lived in lack, or how many opportunities you've missed. Your financial situation can radically change once you begin to pray with the certainty that abundance is your natural state. Everyone who suffers financial problems has, in one way or another, been conditioned by false beliefs about money. Some grew up hearing that money is hard to get, that wealth is only for a few, or that virtue lies in poverty. Others witnessed financial struggles in their families and have associated wealth with suffering, stress, or conflict. These beliefs, though invisible, govern the reality of those who hold them. It is crucial to understand that money is neither good nor bad. It is an instrument of exchange, a manifestation of the mind's creative energy. It has no will of its own. It does not choose whom to reach or whom to avoid. It simply flows toward those who allow it and moves away from those who unconsciously reject it. Freeing yourself from financial blockages requires identifying and eliminating these false ideas and replacing them with affirmations of prosperity. Prayer plays a vital role in this process, for it not only dissolves limiting beliefs, but also establishes new truths in the subconscious mind. When you pray with conviction, your mind begins to accept the idea that wealth is natural, accessible, and abundant. One of the most effective ways to release blockages is to pray every morning with a power affirmation. God is my inexhaustible source of provision. Abundance flows into my life effortlessly and without limits. Each day I receive more than I need, and wealth manifests on my path in perfect ways. By repeating these words with faith, the subconscious begins to reorganize itself and attract opportunities that reflect this new belief. The key is constant repetition and the emotion with which the prayer is spoken. But it is not enough to pray once and expect immediate results. The mind must be trained daily until the certainty of prosperity becomes unshakable. To do this, it is recommended to establish a specific time for financial prayer, each morning before starting the day, and each night before sleeping. Dedicate a few minutes to declare your abundance with full confidence that it is already yours. Resistance to wealth can also manifest physically through sensations of discomfort or anxiety when thinking about money. If receiving money makes you feel guilty, if talking about wealth makes you uncomfortable, or if spending causes distress, it is a sign that there are inner blockages that must be removed. In such cases, prayer should be combined with relaxation and visualization. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and declare with certainty, I accept wealth with gratitude and joy. Money flows to me easily and naturally. I am at peace with abundance and enjoy financial well-being. As these affirmations are repeated, resistance begins to dissolve, and your relationship with money transforms. A sense of peace develops, a deep certainty that abundance is safe and that the universe always provides. Many people have transformed their financial lives by applying these principles. Men and women who once lived in constant worry about money have seen remarkable improvements in their finances after learning to pray correctly. Some have received unexpected opportunities, others have found new sources of income, and many have discovered talents and abilities they never knew they had. All of this happens because the subconscious mind, once freed from financial blockages, begins to act in harmony with abundance. Money is not the problem. The problem is the mental programming that prevents receiving it. Once the subconscious is cleared of false ideas, wealth begins to flow without obstacles. God has not decreed poverty for anyone. Abundance is the natural right of every human being. If until now you've felt that prosperity slips through your fingers, if you've worked hard without seeing results, if you've feared money or felt uncertain about your financial future, it's time to transform your mind through prayer. Stop focusing on what you lack and start giving thanks for what you already have, no matter how small. Gratitude is a sign of faith, and faith is the most powerful magnet for abundance. From today on, commit to praying with certainty, to eliminating all doubt, and to allowing wealth to flow freely into your life. Repeat daily, I am in perfect harmony with the abundance of the universe. All my needs are wonderfully met. Wealth flows to me effortlessly and without limits. As these words take root in your subconscious, you will begin to notice scarcity fading away. Opportunities will appear unexpectedly. Money will arrive through unusual channels, and your financial life will undergo a profound transformation. In the next chapter, We will explore how to direct prayer toward the creation of abundance using precise spiritual formulas to attract prosperity consciously and deliberately. Prayer not only frees you from blockages, it can open the gates to unlimited wealth. Now is the time to transform your economy from the deepest level of the mind. Chapter 4. The Prayer of Gratitude and its Impact on Prosperity. Gratitude is the language of abundance. It is the attitude of one who has already received, who knows with certainty that good is on its way, who neither doubts nor fears, because they recognize that divine provision is inexhaustible. When a person lives in gratitude, their subconscious mind receives the message that wealth is already a reality. As a result, it activates spiritual laws that multiply prosperity. One who gives thanks before receiving demonstrates absolute faith in abundance. They are not waiting for external proof to feel prosperous. They are already aligned mentally and spiritually with wealth. This is the key to effective prayer. Not praying from lack, but from fullness. Not asking desperately, but giving thanks with certainty. Many pray with a mindset of need, as if begging for a handout from a God who arbitrarily chooses whom to bless. But true prayer is not an anxious request. It is an affirmation that what is needed has already been granted. When Jesus lifted his eyes to heaven before feeding the multitude, he did not beg for more bread. He simply gave thanks. This is the essence of the prayer of gratitude, to act as if it has already been received, because in the spiritual realm abundance has already been given. Gratitude multiplies money. The subconscious mind responds to the dominant vibration of thought. When someone lives in gratitude, they are sending the signal that all is well, that wealth flows unhindered, that life is generous. And since spiritual law states that like attracts like, this attitude of gratitude magnetizes even more prosperity. The problem for many is that they believe they must first see money in their hands to feel grateful. But the truth is the opposite. They must first feel gratitude within in order for money to manifest externally. Abundance is not attracted through complaint, worry, or fear, but through the certainty that the universe always provides. A person who complains about their debts, who constantly laments the lack of money, or fears for their financial stability, is reinforcing the idea of scarcity in their subconscious. And since the subconscious is the matrix where life experiences are formed, it will continue to recreate situations that reflect that mindset of lack. But the one who, despite any circumstance, maintains an attitude of gratitude and trust, is sending a completely different message to the universe. I know abundance is on the way, and that is why I already give thanks. The prayer of thanksgiving as a tool for attraction. The prayer of gratitude holds extraordinary power because it changes one's relationship with money. Instead of seeing it as something hard to obtain, as a problem or a burden, one begins to perceive it as a natural blessing that flows with ease. This transformation in mindset opens the gates for wealth to arrive steadily and effortlessly. Those who practice gratitude daily discover that their financial situation improves in unexpected ways. New opportunities appear, innovative ideas emerge, clients and unexpected offers arrive, money begins to flow in unusual ways. All of this happens because the subconscious mind, instead of being focused on scarcity, is aligned with the certainty of provision. A powerful gratitude prayer should always be formulated in the present tense, affirming the reality of already received wealth. It should be felt with genuine emotion, as if everything desired has already been received. It is not enough to simply say the words, they must be experienced from the deepest part of one's being. Each morning before rising, repeat with conviction, "Thank you, God, because abundance flows easily into my life. Thank you because I always have more than enough for all my needs. Thank you because money comes to me in multiple perfect and divine ways. Thank you because prosperity is my natural state, and each day my wealth expands more and more." When this prayer becomes a daily habit, the subconscious begins to operate according to this new programming. An inner peace is generated, a complete trust in divine provision, and wealth starts to manifest in surprising ways. How to give thanks even before receiving. The great secret of gratitude is that it does not depend on external circumstances. It's not about giving thanks only when there is an abundance of money, but about giving thanks even during difficult times, with the certainty that provision has already been given in the spiritual realm. One who gives thanks before receiving demonstrates a level of faith that few achieve. They are acting in total harmony with the law of abundance, knowing that wealth is already theirs and is simply waiting to manifest at the perfect time. Instead of worrying about unpaid bills, lack of income, or financial problems, a person who lives in gratitude says with conviction, "Thank you because all my needs are met. Thank you because opportunities are on their way. Thank you because money reaches me in unexpected ways. Thank you because there is always more than enough for me and to share." This attitude completely shifts the vibration of thought. Anxiety fades, fear disappears, worry dissolves, and when the mind is filled with peace, wealth flows naturally. Testimonies of people who changed their lives with spiritual gratitude. Throughout my journey, I have met countless people who have transformed their finances solely through the power of gratitude. People who once lived in lack, struggling with financial issues, discovered that by changing their attitude toward money, their entire reality changed. One woman who had lived with financial difficulties for years began to practice gratitude prayer every morning and night. Instead of complaining about the lack of money, she began giving thanks for everything she had, even for what had not yet manifested. Within weeks, she received an unexpected job offer that tripled her income and allowed her to pay off her debts. Another man, who had always been afraid to invest money for fear of losing it, decided to shift his focus. Every time he spent money, instead of feeling anxious, he repeated in his mind, "Thank you, because my wealth multiplies with every transaction." Soon his mindset changed, and he began to see investment opportunities he had never considered before. His business prospered, and his financial situation improved significantly. These testimonies are not isolated cases. They are proof that gratitude activates an unchanging law. Wealth flows to those who recognize and receive it with joy. When the prayer of gratitude becomes a daily practice, scarcity vanishes. No matter the current situation, the power of thanksgiving is capable of transforming any circumstance. From this moment on, make gratitude your default state. Give thanks for every coin, every opportunity, every blessing, no matter how small it may seem. The law of abundance is clear. What you give thanks for multiplies. In the next chapter, we will explore how to direct prayer toward attracting economic opportunities, businesses, and sources of income. Wealth is already on its way. Your only task is to open your mind and heart to receive it. Chapter 5. Prayers for attracting opportunities in business. Prosperity is not a matter of chance or luck. Every financial opportunity, every successful business, and every prosperous transaction is a reflection of a mind aligned with abundance. Those who seem to always be in the right place at the exact right time are not lucky. They are people who have learned to tune into the frequency of wealth. Prayer is the key that opens the doors to economic opportunities and directs the subconscious toward making the right decisions. There are no coincidences in the universe. God provides abundantly, and opportunities for business and financial growth are constantly all around us. However, many people fail to see them because their minds are clouded by fear, doubt, or limitation. To attract opportunities, you must first recognize them, and to recognize them, you need to open your mind and spirit to divine guidance. When you pray with faith for attracting economic opportunities, you activate a radar in your subconscious that allows you to clearly detect favorable circumstances. Prayer doesn't create opportunities out of nowhere. It simply aligns you with them and makes you aware of what has always been there. How to attract financial opportunities through prayer. All wealth begins in the mind. If within you there is absolute certainty that success is assured, the right doors will open effortlessly. Prayer allows you to tune into this truth and strengthen the belief that everything you need is already present. When you pray to attract economic opportunities, do not do it from neediness or desperation. Do not ask from scarcity, but from the conviction that abundance is already yours. You only need to see it manifest. Each morning before starting your day, repeat with full confidence, "Today is a day of success and prosperity. I am surrounded by opportunities to grow and thrive. My mind is clear, my steps are guided, and every decision I make brings me closer to wealth. Thank you, God, because all my needs are met and I always have more than enough." This prayer not only reaffirms your confidence, but also programs your mind to recognize financial paths you might have previously ignored. Opportunities have always been there, but only those who believe in abundance can see and seize them. Faith is the key to recognizing the universe's signs. When a person prays with faith, their perception expands. They begin to see solutions instead of problems, possibilities instead of obstacles, and open doors where they once saw limits. Faith is the bridge between prayer and the manifestation of wealth. Without faith, prayer is just empty words. But with faith, it becomes a creative force that transforms reality. Often, opportunities come unexpectedly. A casual conversation, a sudden idea, or a seemingly chance encounter with someone who holds the key to a new business or income source. When you have faith, you recognize these signs and act decisively. But if you doubt, fear, or hesitate, opportunities vanish. Before leaving your house or making any financial decision, say with conviction, "My steps are guided by infinite wisdom. My intuition shows me the right path. Everything I need to know is revealed to me at the perfect moment. I fully trust that every opportunity coming into my life is a divine blessing." Prayer strengthens faith and clears the way. You don't need to force anything. You just need to trust that the universe will lead you exactly to what you need. How to ask for divine guidance in making wise financial decisions. Money flows easily to those who know how to manage it wisely. Making financial decisions from fear or anxiety leads to mistakes, but acting from peace and certainty ensures success. Prayer is the best method to gain clarity before making investments, starting a business, or accepting a new opportunity. When facing an important financial decision, pause and say, "Father, illuminate my mind and heart. Let all fear dissolve and leave only the certainty that the right path opens before me. Show me clearly the best option and give me the wisdom to recognize and seize it. Thank you, because I know all my decisions are guided by infinite intelligence." Praying this way puts your subconscious in a receptive state. Don't let impatience push you to act without clarity. Listen to your intuition, observe the signs, and trust that the answer will come at the right time. The best financial decisions are not made impulsively, but through inspiration. And prayer tunes you into that inspiration. Prayers to attract clients, sales, and successful partnerships. Success in business depends not only on effort, but also on the energy with which it is carried out. People are attracted to those who radiate confidence, security, and prosperity. If you want to attract more clients, close more sales, or form successful partnerships, first align your mind with the idea that success is already a reality. Each morning, as you begin your activities, pray with certainty, "My business is a channel of blessing and prosperity. The right clients are attracted to me with ease. Every sale, transaction, and deal I make flows in perfect harmony with divine abundance. Thank you, because my success is guaranteed." When you meet with a client or potential partner, visualize the meeting as a success before it happens. Before the conversation, repeat silently, "Everything flows in harmony and mutual benefit. This meeting is full of success and opportunities. I leave here with prosperous agreements and enriching relationships." The energy you emit determines what you attract. If you enter a meeting fearing rejection, you are likely to experience it. But if you enter with confidence that everything is aligned in your favor, your assurance will show in every word and action. Economic opportunities never cease to exist. There is always someone seeking what you offer, always businesses growing, and always money circulating. The key is training your mind to see abundance instead of limitation. When you pray with faith, you start acting like a prosperous person. Doubts fade, intuition strengthens, and opportunities begin to appear in every corner. From this moment on, commit to making prayer a daily tool on your path to wealth. You don't need to chase success anxiously. You just need to align with it through the certainty that abundance is already yours. In the next chapter, we will explore how to heal your relationship with money and eliminate any feelings of guilt, fear, or discomfort associated with wealth. To attract more money, you must first feel completely at peace with the idea of having it. The time has come to take the next step toward a life of limitless prosperity. Chapter 6. Prayers to heal your relationship with money. Money is not an enemy or a burden. It is a manifestation of divine abundance in the material world. It is neither good nor bad in itself. It simply reflects the relationship each person has with wealth. For some, money is synonymous with stress, worry, or sacrifice. For others, it represents freedom, well-being, and opportunity. What determines each individual's experience is not the amount of money they possess, but their inner attitude toward it. Many people live trapped in a conflicted relationship with money. On one hand, they desire more prosperity, but on the other, they feel guilt, fear, or distrust when they receive it. Some have been raised with the belief that money corrupts, that ambition is dangerous, or that wealth only comes to the dishonest. Others grew up watching their parents struggle financially and have associated money with suffering and scarcity. This subconscious programming creates an internal contradiction. Although consciously they want abundance, the subconscious, which governs 95% of our actions and decisions, rejects money without us realizing it. This results in patterns such as compulsive spending when receiving money, sabotaging opportunities for financial growth, or feeling uncomfortable talking about wealth. To bring abundance in a stable and consistent way, it is fundamental to heal the relationship with money. How to remove guilt and fear around money. Guilt is one of the most destructive emotions in manifesting prosperity. If deep down you feel you don't deserve to be rich, your subconscious will block any attempt to attract more money. You may work hard, have great talents, or even receive unexpected income, but sooner or later you will find a way to lose it if you have not removed guilt from your subconscious. Fear of money is also a common obstacle. Some people fear that if they become rich, they will be rejected by their surroundings. Others fear they won't know how to manage their fortune, attract envy, or change their identity if they achieve prosperity. These fears act as invisible brakes that prevent the flow of wealth from being constant. The only way to remove guilt and fear around money is to reprogram the mind with thoughts of love, gratitude, and trust. Money is not dirty or evil. It is an energy that amplifies what already exists within each person. If you are generous, more money will allow you to be even more generous. If you are an ethical person, more wealth will allow you to expand your positive impact on the world. The following prayer will help release any trace of guilt or fear associated with money. I receive with gratitude and joy. Money is a divine blessing flowing naturally and harmoniously in my life. I release all guilt, fear, or doubt regarding prosperity. I allow myself to receive with love and share generously. God is my infinite source of provision, and I trust that abundance will always be present on my path. As you repeat these words, you will begin to notice a change in your perception of money. You will no longer see it as a problem or burden, but as a resource that can bring well-being and freedom into your life, transforming the view of money from a problem into a blessing. For many, money is synonymous with worries. They see it as a source of stress, something difficult to obtain or keep, or a cause of conflict in their relationships. However, this negative view only reinforces scarcity in their lives. Money, like any other form of energy, responds to the attitude with which it is treated. If you see it as problematic, it will continue behaving as a problem. But if you begin to see it as a blessing, it will become a source of well-being. Every time you receive money, no matter the amount, give thanks joyfully, even if it is a small income, a coin found on the street, or an unexpected discount on a purchase. Know that abundance is flowing into your life. Before spending or investing money, hold it in your hands for a moment and say, I bless this money with love and gratitude. I know that as it leaves my hands, it returns multiplied in perfect ways. Money flows freely in my life, and each day I enjoy its abundance more. This simple exercise completely transforms your relationship with money. It fills it with positive energy, removes subconscious resistance, and allows wealth to flow without blockages. Prayer to develop trust in divine provision. True prosperity is not just about accumulating money, but developing absolute trust that there will always be more than enough. When you fully trust divine provision, fear of scarcity disappears and money comes easily. Those who worry about their financial future often act out of anxiety and desperation. But those who trust in the universe's abundance walk with peace and confidence, knowing money will always arrive at the perfect time. If you ever feel worried about your finances, repeat the following prayer with full conviction. God is my infinite source of provision. I know wealth flows in my life in perfect and divine ways. I do not fear scarcity because I trust I always have more than enough. Each day I am guided toward opportunities of prosperity and success. My finances are in harmony with universal abundance, and everything I need is given to me at the perfect moment. As you practice this prayer daily, you will notice your worries about money begin to fade. In their place, a sense of peace and security will settle, and wealth will flow more easily. Making peace with the energy of money. Money is simply a tool. It has no will of its own and does not create problems by itself. It is each person's attitude toward money that determines their experience with it. If you have ever felt rejection toward money, or believed that wealth is not for you, it is time to reconcile with the energy of prosperity. Make a list of all the negative ideas you have had about money and replace them with affirmations of abundance. If you believed money is hard to get, replace that with joy. If you thought money corrupts people, change that belief to money amplifies the best in me and allows me to help others. And if you felt you don't deserve to be rich, begin affirming with certainty. Wealth is my divine right, and I allow myself to receive it with love and gratitude. The following prayer will help you make peace with the energy of money and allow it to flow freely in your life. I bless money with love and gratitude. I recognize that prosperity is part of the divine order, and I allow myself to receive it without resistance. My relationship with money is harmonious, balanced, and positive. I trust that wealth flows in my life perfectly and constantly. Today, I open my heart to abundance and receive it with joy. From today, stop seeing money as a worry and start seeing it as a channel of blessing. The more peace you feel about wealth, the more money will come into your life effortlessly. In the next chapter, we will explore how to eliminate debt and attract financial freedom through prayer, strengthening your connection with abundance even more. Money should not be a burden, but a companion flowing lightly and joyfully on your path to prosperity. Chapter 7. Prayers to eliminate debt and attract financial freedom. The state of being in debt is not only an economic condition, but a manifestation of a mindset that needs to be transformed. Debt reflects a subconscious belief in lack, insufficiency, and dependence on external resources to sustain life. But just as it was created, it can also be dissolved through mental and spiritual reprogramming. Many people live under the weight of debt, feeling they will never be free from it. They worry, feel anxious, and believe they are trapped in an endless cycle of payments and financial obligations. However, anxiety solves nothing, and despair only reinforces the idea of scarcity. The true solution lies in changing the mental vibration, moving from worry to certainty, from fear to trust, from resistance to gratitude. God did not create a world where his children must live enslaved by debt. The universe is abundant, and there is always enough to meet all needs. The key is learning to align the mind with the truth of infinite provision and using prayer as a tool to release any financial burden. How to free the mind from the weight of debt. Debt is not just a number on a bank statement. It is an emotional burden that weighs on the conscience. When a person feels indebted, their subconscious mind associates money with stress, struggle, and lack of freedom. This creates a vicious cycle where even after paying off a debt, New obligations soon arise, generating the same sense of pressure. To break this cycle, it is essential to free the mind from the weight of debt before financial circumstances can transform. Prayer is the most powerful tool to achieve this because, when prayed with faith, anguish dissolves and consciousness opens to the certainty of solvency. Each morning, instead of focusing on what you owe, focus on the abundance already on its way. Declare with conviction, "I release all worry about money. I fully trust that God is my inexhaustible source of provision. My life is full of wealth. My debts dissolve with ease, and my finances are in perfect harmony. Prosperity flows to me in perfect and divine ways." When the mind stops clinging to debt and focuses on solvency, solutions begin to appear unexpectedly. Prayers to cancel debts and attract solvency. No matter how large the debt, it can always be eliminated. Money is energy in motion, and scarcity is only a reflection of mental blockages that can be dissolved. Every time you think about your debts, instead of worrying, firmly repeat, "I bless my debts and release them with gratitude. Every financial commitment I have made is paid in perfect time, with ease and effortlessness. Abundance flows constantly in my life, and I always have more than enough to meet all my needs. Thank you, God, for my finances are balanced, and my wealth prospers day by day." This prayer removes the feeling of oppression and replaces it with confidence. When you pray with faith, financial solutions come without excessive effort. An unexpected payment, a discount, additional income opportunities, or even debt forgiveness may manifest when your mind's vibration aligns with abundance. The principle of circulation and how to apply it with prayer. Money is like water. If it doesn't circulate, it stagnates. Many people live closed off to every cent out of fear of scarcity, unaware that this fear is exactly what blocks the flow of wealth. The universe responds to trust. When you give joyfully, you receive abundantly. This doesn't mean you should spend irresponsibly, but that you must learn to handle money from a consciousness of sufficiency, not fear. Every time you pay a bill, do it with virtue. Instead of complaining about what you owe, bless the money you give and trust it will return multiplied. Before making a payment, hold the money or bill in your hands and say with conviction, "I bless this money and release it with joy. I know it returns multiplied in perfect ways. I'm grateful for the opportunity to fulfill my commitments and trust that wealth flows back to me in unlimited abundance." This simple change of attitude transforms your relationship with money. When you pay with gratitude instead of fear, you send a clear message to the universe. "I know there is more than enough." And the universe will respond by giving you even more. How to pray to increase income and reduce financial commitments. To get out of debt, it's not enough to just compare what you owe. It's also necessary to increase income and reduce unnecessary financial obligations. Fortunately, prayer can open unexpected paths for this to happen. If you want to receive more income, start by declaring daily, "I am open to receiving new opportunities for prosperity. Every day, wonderful ways to generate income present themselves to me. Money flows to me from multiple sources in abundant and perfect ways. Thank you, God, because my finances expand and my wealth grows without limits." If you need to reduce financial commitments, confidently ask, "My finances are balanced. Every unnecessary payment disappears from my life. I receive discounts, bonuses, and opportunities to reduce my expenses harmoniously and perfectly. Thank you, God, because my finances are prosperous and stable." Prayer, when done with faith, activates forces that reorganize circumstances to align with the intention expressed. People have seen debts disappear, received unexpected salary increases, or found creative ways to generate money when applying these principles with conviction. Getting out of debt is not just a financial process, but a mental and spiritual one. When you release your worry, pay with gratitude instead of anxiety, and trust in divine provision instead of fearing scarcity, financial freedom becomes an inevitable reality. Money flows where it is welcomed. If instead of seeing debt as a burden, you see it as an opportunity for growth and learning, its power over you will disappear. From now on, Commit to praying with faith and trusting that abundance is already yours. Whenever you feel anxious about money, repeat, I am free from all debt. My finances are in perfect balance. I receive with gratitude and give with joy. God is my infinite source of provision, and I always have more than I need. Today I open my life to financial freedom and enjoy the peace and prosperity that have been given to me by divine right. In the next chapter, we will explore how to activate multiple income streams through prayer, allowing abundance to flow into your life in ways you never imagined. Prosperity has no limits. It only waits for you to be ready to receive it. Chapter 8. Prayers to bring multiple sources of income. The universe is inexhaustible in its provision. Wealth does not come from a single source, but from a constant flow of opportunities that arrive to those who have learned to open their mind and spirit to abundance. Those who depend on a single income limit their own prosperity, while those who have understood the law of financial multiplicity enjoy unshakable economic stability. God has not decreed that sustenance come from only one path. Just as a river does not rely on a single current to flow, abundance comes through multiple channels. However, many people cling to the idea that their only source of income is their job, a specific business, or a particular investment. By believing this, they close doors to other possibilities and block the natural flow of prosperity. When a person, now with faith, seeks to bring income from diverse sources, they give permission to the universe to manifest wealth in unexpected ways. This may be through a new business opportunity, a fruitful investment, a talent not yet explored, or even an unexpected gift. But for these opportunities to arrive, the mind must be open and receptive. Prayer is the most powerful tool to expand your economy. Through it, mental barriers that limit wealth dissolve, and a state of consciousness is created in which receiving multiple incomes becomes natural and expected. There is no need to struggle or exert excessive effort. It is only necessary to align the mind with the truth that money can flow through many channels. How to activate new economic opportunities through faith. Financial success does not depend solely on effort, but on the inner certainty that wealth is a natural state. If a person believes they can only earn money in one specific way, their subconscious will block other opportunities. Conversely, if they are convinced that abundance comes from multiple paths, their mind will be alert to recognize new sources of income. It is not necessary to know how these opportunities will come, just have the assurance that they will. Those who have achieved great fortunes did not always know in advance how they would succeed, but they were certain that wealth was inevitable in their lives. That unwavering faith opened doors that otherwise would have remained closed. Each morning before starting the day, pray with conviction, God is my infinite source of provision. I know wealth comes to me through multiple channels and unexpected ways. Every day I receive opportunities for prosperity that exceed my expectations. I'm grateful for the abundance that flows freely in my life, and I trust that I always have more than I need. This prayer establishes a receptive mental state. As you repeat it with faith, you will begin to notice new economic possibilities appearing on your path. Someone may offer you a business opportunity, an unexpected investment may arise, or you might discover a talent you can monetize. The subconscious, programmed for abundance, will seek the right paths to manifest it. Prayer to receive millionaire ideas. Wealth does not always come from money that already exists, but from ideas that can generate money. A single well-applied idea can transform a person's life and give access to a fortune never imagined. Great entrepreneurs, inventors, and wealth creators did not become prosperous by accident. They knew how to recognize and execute ideas that others ignored. The subconscious mind is constantly connected to infinite intelligence. Everyone has access to powerful ideas, but only those who train their spirit to receive them can capture them clearly. Prayer is the bridge that opens the door to inspiration and allows innovative thoughts and unexpected opportunities to emerge. If you want to attract millionaire ideas every night before sleeping, repeat with certainty, my mind is in tune with infinite intelligence. I receive inspired ideas that lead me to wealth. Every day my subconscious reveals new ways to prosper. I know within me there are talents, knowledge, and opportunities waiting to be discovered. I'm grateful for divine guidance showing me the path to abundance. When you wake up, pay attention to any thought, intuition, or new perspective that arises in your mind. Often, the best ideas come in moments of calm, in dreams, or as a sudden flash of clarity. Do not ignore these signs. They may be the start of a great financial transformation. How to open your mind to receive money from multiple sources. Money is energy, and as such it responds to the inner disposition of the receiver. If someone believes they can only earn money in one specific way, they restrict the circulation of wealth in their life. But when the mind opens to the possibility of receiving income from diverse sources, money begins to flow easily. It is not about working more or desperately seeking new opportunities, but about eliminating the belief that prosperity can only come from one place. When a person convinces themselves they can receive money from multiple ways, their subconscious begins to attract those opportunities. The right businesses appear, the right connections present themselves, and the necessary circumstances align to make financial multiplication possible. Repeat with conviction. I am open to receiving money from multiple sources. Wealth comes to me in unexpected ways, effortlessly and in divine harmony. I receive constant and abundant income through businesses, investments, and opportunities the universe presents to me. I trust that my economy grows every day, and my prosperity is unlimited. This affirmation reprograms the subconscious and trains it to identify new ways to generate income. Opportunities have always been there. It's only a matter of being ready to see and receive them. Specific prayers for economic expansion. If you want your economy to expand, if you seek to generate more income without sacrificing your well-being, or if you long for financial stability from diverse sources, the following prayer will strengthen your connection to abundance. God, I know prosperity is my natural state. Today I open my mind and heart to receive wealth from multiple paths. My economy grows steadily without effort or struggle. I receive money in expected and unexpected ways. Abundance flows in my life, providing me with well-being, security, and happiness. Thank you because I know my wealth expands with ease and joy. If you are an entrepreneur or business owner, this prayer will attract clients, sales, and new opportunities. I bless my business and all I accomplish with my talents. More and more people are drawn to my services and products. My income multiplies, and my finances are in perfect balance. I trust the universe always provides, and every effort I make is rewarded with unlimited abundance. For those seeking successful investments or new financial opportunities, this affirmation will create the right vibration. Every decision I make leads me to greater prosperity. The right opportunities come to me at the perfect time. I trust my intuition and divine guidance, showing me the best path to grow my fortune. Wealth flows in my life naturally and harmoniously. Prosperity is not an accident or a privilege for a few. It is a universal law available to all who have learned to open themselves to abundance. If you want to receive money from multiple sources, first you must train your mind to accept that possibility as an imminent reality. Prayer is the most powerful means to transform your mindset and attract new economic opportunities. From today, commit to praying with faith, eliminating all limitation in your thinking and receiving wealth with gratitude and certainty. Opportunities are waiting. Your only task is to recognize them and allow them to flow into your life. In the next chapter, we will explore how to make wise and inspired financial decisions. Prosperity should not only come into your life, but remain there steadily and grow. Chapter 9, the prayer for making financial decisions. Abia. Wealth is not just a matter of income, but of wisdom in managing resources. Many have earned large sums of money only to lose it through bad investments, unfortunate partnerships, or excessive spending. Others have experienced the fear of not knowing what to do with their money, worried about making the wrong decision. However, the person who develops financial intuition and connection with the divine will never fear losing money because they know that every decision they make is backed by infinite intelligence. God is the source of all provision and also the source of the wisdom necessary to manage wealth correctly. Prayer is the most powerful means to receive clarity before making economic decisions. When a person prays with faith, their subconscious mind aligns with the right answer and the right opportunities, signs and inspiration arrive precisely and at the perfect time. Indecision, fear and confusion are mental states that block intuition and lead to poor decisions. When you pray before making an investment, starting a business, or making an important move, your mind opens to infinite wisdom and clear answers that lead to success. How to ask for divine guidance before making investments. Before making any investment, no matter how small or large, it is essential to ensure that it aligns with divine prosperity. Not all opportunities are for everyone. Sometimes what seems like a great deal is actually a distraction from the right path. Other times, what seems risky may be the gateway to unexpected abundance. To receive guidance before investing, quiet your mind and connect with the higher power through prayer. Before making any financial decision, recite with conviction, God, enlighten my mind and spirit. Show me clearly the right path. If this investment is for my well-being and growth, give me clear signs and peace in my heart. If it is not the right choice, make it evident to me and remove all confusion. I trust that every decision I make is aligned with infinite abundance and guided by divine intelligence. After saying this prayer, do not rush to decide. Observe the signs. If you feel peace and certainty, if doors open easily and everything flows without obstacles, it is a sign that it is the right path. But if doubts, obstacles, unexplained delays, or a feeling of unease arise, it is better to wait or reconsider the decision. Divine intelligence never errs. When you pray and trust, you will be guided toward investments that multiply your wealth and avoid those that could cause losses. How to develop financial intuition through prayer. Intuition is the bridge between the conscious mind and divine wisdom. It is a faculty everyone possesses, but few have learned to listen to and develop. The intuitive person can perceive opportunities before they become evident and avoid problems before they occur. Many great fortunes were created by people who followed their financial intuition. They did not always have all the information, but trusted that inner feeling that told them the right decision. Intuition strengthens through daily prayer. When you pray regularly, you create a mental state of receptivity and clarity that allows you to capture the answers your subconscious and infinite intelligence are constantly sending. If you want to increase your financial intuition, repeat each day. My mind is in perfect harmony with infinite intelligence. I receive clear guidance in all my financial decisions. My intuition is sharp, precise, and reliable. I always know what to do, when to act, and when to wait. I trust that every step I take is guided by divine wisdom. After this prayer, pay attention to spontaneous thoughts, ideas that arise effortlessly, and sensations in your body when you think about a financial decision. When intuition develops, answers come easily without excessive effort. The power of prayer to avoid losses and poor decisions. Not all economic opportunities are blessings. Some investments may seem promising, but are full of deception, hidden risks, or unexpected challenges. Money invested without discernment can quickly disappear, leaving only painful lessons. To avoid financial losses, protection through prayer is necessary. When a person prays with faith, a shield of wisdom activates, preventing bad decisions. Before accepting any deal, signing a contract, or committing to an investment, firmly repeat, God, protect my finances and financial well-being. If this decision is not right for me, make it evident. Remove all deception, confusion, or illusion. Guide me to the best option and give me the wisdom to make decisions that multiply my wealth. Thank you because my money is protected, and my choices are always wise. This prayer will prevent you from being swept away by haste, momentary emotions, or external influences. Whenever you feel pressured to make a quick decision, stop and pray. What is right for you will always come at the right time, and with the signs that show the correct path. How to receive clear answers to financial questions. God always answers, but the answers come in different ways. Sometimes the answer presents as a sudden idea. Other times as a conversation with someone who says exactly what you need to hear. Sometimes the answer is in an external sign, unexpected news, or an event that confirms the right path. If you have a financial question and want a clear answer, follow this prayer method. Formulate your question precisely. Instead of praying generally, be specific. Instead of saying, "God, help me with my finances," say, "God, is this investment right for me?" Say the following prayer with conviction. Father, I ask for your guidance and clarity. I know all the answers I need are already within me. Now I open my mind and heart to receive the truth. Give me clear signs, speak through my intuition, and show me the right path. I trust that the answer will come at the perfect time and in the best way. Quiet your mind and wait for the answer. Do not try to force it. Sometimes it comes immediately. Other times it takes hours or days. Stay attentive to your thoughts, dreams, conversations, and unexpected signs. When the answer comes, you will feel peace and certainty. There will be no doubt or confusion. When the decision is right, everything flows without resistance. If there are constant obstacles, delays, or uncertainty, it is a sign that the path is not right. Making financial decisions without spiritual guidance is like navigating without a map. The person who prays before every financial move is never lost. They are not swayed by anxiety or external pressure because they know every step they take is guided by infinite intelligence. From now on, commit to praying before every financial decision, no matter how big or small. Always consult divine wisdom first. When you do this, every lesson you learn will bring you closer to greater prosperity. In the next chapter, we will explore how to strengthen faith in abundance and maintain an unshakable mindset of wealth. True prosperity is not just about earning money, but sustaining a permanent consciousness of abundance. Chapter 10. Prayers to overcome the fear of financial failure. The fear of financial failure is one of the most paralyzing forces there is. Whoever fears losing money, who doubts their ability to generate wealth, who constantly worries about their economic future, is sending a clear message to the subconscious. I'm not prosperous. Scarcity is real. I do not have enough. And since the subconscious responds to the orders it receives with emotion and conviction, it ends up manifesting exactly those conditions. The fear of poverty is not just a mental worry, but an energetic vibration that blocks the free flow of abundance. When fear dominates the mind, it blocks creativity, intuition, and the ability to recognize opportunities. That is when people reject prosperous businesses, cling to unsatisfying jobs out of fear of not finding something better, or avoid investing in their personal and professional growth for fear of loss. However, God did not create His children to live in scarcity or insecurity. Abundance is a divine principle, and whoever fully trusts in the provision of the universe never lives in lack. Faith in prosperity eliminates fear, and prayer is the most powerful tool to strengthen that faith. How prayer strengthens confidence in times of crisis. Economic crises can be moments of transformation and growth if faced with the right attitude. No matter how great the financial difficulty may seem, the key is to remain calm and trust that the solution is on its way. The problem with many is that, in crisis, they enter a state of despair, allow fear to control them, and act out of anxiety instead of faith. But history has shown that crises can be trampolines to prosperity when faced with a firm and confident mindset. When you feel overwhelmed by a financial situation, repeat with absolute conviction, God is my inexhaustible source of provision. I do not fear scarcity or crisis because I know all is in divine order. Every challenge brings an opportunity to grow. I receive unexpected solutions, abundant resources, and new opportunities. My confidence is unwavering, and my prosperity is assured. When this prayer is repeated with faith, the subconscious begins to work on finding solutions. The mind clears, creativity activates, and the right ideas come at the perfect time. Prayers to release fear and economic insecurity. Fear is only an illusion created by the mind. It has no real substance unless fed by thoughts of doubt and worry. Prayer is the most powerful antidote to financial insecurity, because it transforms the energy of fear into certainty and faith. If you ever find yourself anxious about money, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and firmly repeat, I release all fear and worry about my finances. I fully trust in divine provision and my ability to bring wealth. I am at peace with money, knowing I always have more than enough for all my needs. Abundance flows in my life constantly and perfectly. Repeat this prayer whenever you feel fear or uncertainty. Over time, you will notice fear disappears and is replaced by a sense of security and trust. In the natural flow of wealth, how to transform the energy of failure into an opportunity for success. Financial failure is not a punishment or a final sentence. It is simply a learning experience, a sign that mindset and actions need adjustment. The richest people in the world have faced financial failures at some point, but instead of giving up, they used those failures as steps to achieve even greater success. Every mistake brings a lesson. Every loss can become a gain if approached with the right attitude. The key is not to let failure define your identity. Money can be lost and recovered, but the mindset of prosperity must remain intact. If you have experienced a financial setback, instead of lamenting or feeling guilty, pray with gratitude and determination. I'm grateful for every experience as an opportunity to learn and grow. All I have lived has prepared me to receive greater abundance. I release all emotional burdens of the past and choose to move forward with confidence and wisdom. All I need to know is revealed to me at the perfect time. I am on the right path toward wealth and success. This prayer shifts the mind's vibration and allows the subconscious to process the experience from a positive perspective. There are no failures, only lessons that bring us closer to greater prosperity. Stories of transformation through prayer. Over the years, I have met countless people who have transformed their financial situation, thanks to the power of prayer. Men and women who moved from economic despair to stability and success, simply by changing their mindset and strengthening their faith. One was a man who had lost everything in a bad investment. He was in debt, unemployed, and hopeless. When he came to me, I told him the first thing he needed to do was not seek money, but rebuild his confidence in abundance. I taught him to pray as follows: I give thanks because my life is full of opportunities. Every day is a new chance for success. My past does not define my future, and every loss is just a step toward greater wealth. I'm at peace with my finances and trust that abundance flows again in my life. At first he doubted, but by repeating the prayer daily, his attitude changed, his confidence grew, his intuition sharpened, and he began to see solutions where before there were only problems. In less than 6 months, he received a business offer that allowed him to recover all he lost and multiply it. Another case was a woman who lived in constant fear of money. Whenever she earned income, she felt anxious about spending or losing it. Someone had taught her money was dangerous, and security meant living with as little as possible. That subconscious fear blocked her financial growth. When she began to pray with faith, her relationship with money completely changed. She repeated daily, I love and bless money. Money is a tool for well-being and freedom. I allow myself to receive it joyfully and use it wisely. I am safe and at peace with wealth, because I know it always flows to me abundantly. After a year, she had doubled her income and lived with a new sense of stability and confidence. These examples show that wealth is not determined by external circumstances, but by internal mindset. When prayer becomes a daily practice, economic circumstances begin to transform. The fear of financial failure is only a reflection of a mind trained in scarcity, but just as it has been programmed for fear, it can also be reprogrammed for faith and abundance. From today, commit to no longer fear money or financial uncertainty. Whenever fear tries to take hold of your mind, breathe deeply, repeat a prayer of trust, and remember that wealth is always at your disposal. The next chapter will explore how to maintain a prosperity mindset at all times, ensuring that wealth not only comes into your life, but stays and grows steadily. Abundance is a state of mind, and whoever learns to hold it will never again enter lack. Chapter 11. Prayer as an unlimited source of creativity and prosperity. All wealth begins with an idea. Every successful business, every great invention, every innovation that has transformed the world originated in the mind of someone who knew how to listen to the voice of creativity. Abundance is not limited to a specific job, business, or investment, but arises from the infinite wellspring of inspiration that resides within the mind of every human being. However, many people believe creativity is a gift reserved for a few. They think wealth only comes to those with special knowledge or exceptional skills. Nothing could be further from the truth. Creativity is a divine gift accessible to all, and prayer is the key that opens the doors to infinite inspiration. Those who learn to pray with faith to receive ideas, solutions, and paths to prosperity activate within themselves an inexhaustible source of opportunities. Their mind expands, intuition sharpens, and their capacity to attract wealth grows stronger. Money is not something desperately sought, but something attracted when in harmony with divine creativity. How to activate creativity to generate wealth? The universe is in constant motion. The energy of creation never stops. Those who connect with this inexhaustible flow of ideas can find opportunities for prosperity in any circumstance. The problem many face is that they have trained their minds for limitation instead of expansion. They tell themselves they have no ideas, are not innovative, or that success is for others. These affirmations only block access to creativity. When the mind is open and receptive, inspiration arrives unexpectedly. It can be a sudden thought, a casual conversation, a book read at the right moment, a revealing dream, or a coincidence pointing the right way. The subconscious is constantly processing information and connecting ideas, but only those who have learned to quiet their mind and listen to their intuition can receive these messages clearly. If you have ever felt stuck, unsure how to advance financially, repeat this prayer with conviction. God, my mind is in perfect harmony with infinite intelligence. I receive inspired ideas that lead me to wealth. Every day, creativity flows through me with ease and clarity. I see opportunities where others see obstacles. My thoughts align with abundance, and my life is full of possibilities for success. As you repeat this prayer daily, you will notice new ideas and solutions emerging that once seemed invisible. Creativity is not a random gift, but a muscle that strengthens with use and faith. Prayers to receive inspiration and financial solutions. The best financial opportunities do not always require great resources, but a clear vision. Most people look for solutions outside themselves, but true wealth arises from within. If you face a financial challenge and need a solution, instead of worrying, quiet your mind and pray with faith. Divine wisdom guides me at all times. I know all the answers I need are within me. Today I receive clear and precise inspiration to improve my finances. Every idea that arises in my mind is a seed of prosperity. I am open to receiving unexpected solutions and new paths to abundance. After saying this prayer, stay calm and observe what happens. Perhaps you will receive a call with an unexpected offer. Remember a skill you hadn't monetized, or a conversation with someone will reveal the exact idea you needed. When the mind is receptive, opportunities present themselves clearly. The connection between prayer, imagination, and manifestation. Imagination is the workshop of the mind, the place where the conditions of future reality are created. Everything that exists in the material world was first conceived in the mind of someone who visualized it before it manifested. Prayer and imagination work together to shape reality. When a person prays with faith and vividly visualizes what they desire, they send a clear message to the subconscious and the universe. If you want to attract wealth and new opportunities, mechanical praying is not enough. You must imagine yourself already living in abundance, feel the emotion of receiving, and experience gratitude for all that is on its way. The subconscious mind responds to images and emotions more powerfully than to words. Each night before sleeping, dedicate a few minutes to this prayer. Thank you, God, because my life is full of opportunities and abundance. I clearly see my financial success. I visualize my businesses thriving, my accounts balanced, and my well-being growing every day. I feel gratitude in my heart for the wealth that is already mine. I know that everything I imagine with faith becomes reality. This practice reprograms the subconscious and aligns the mind with prosperity. As you repeat it every night, images of scarcity and fear fade away and are replaced by absolute certainty of success. How to train the mind for innovation and abundance. Innovation is not only for scientists, inventors, or entrepreneurs. It is an inherent quality in every human being. Anyone who wishes to improve their financial life must train their mind for innovation, for expansion, to see beyond the obvious. One effective way to do this is by asking powerful questions. Instead of saying, "I don't know what to do," ask yourself, "What is the best way to multiply my wealth?" Instead of affirming, "I have no opportunities," declare, "What prosperity opportunities have I yet to see?" The subconscious constantly works to answer the questions posed. If you focus on scarcity questions, you will receive limited answers. If you train your mind to seek solutions, you will attract innovative ideas that can transform your life. Before starting your day, say aloud, "Today is a day of creativity and success. My mind is open to receiving divine inspiration. Every thought that arises in me is an opportunity for prosperity. I see solutions where others see problems. I find wealth where others see scarcity. I am in total harmony with infinite abundance." As you repeat these affirmations daily, your mindset will change. Your attention will focus on what is possible instead of what seems difficult. Innovation will become a habit, and wealth will flow naturally into your life. Wealth is not a matter of luck, but perception. Those who have learned to see opportunities where others see obstacles, who have trained their minds for creativity, and who have cultivated unwavering faith in divine provision, will inevitably attract prosperity. From today, commit to using prayer as a tool to expand your creativity and strengthen your financial intuition every day. Upon waking and before sleeping, pray with conviction, visualize clearly, and act with confidence. In the next chapter, we will explore how prayer can raise your energetic vibration and turn wealth into a permanent state of life. Abundance is not a destination, but a mental and spiritual habit that can be sustained forever. Chapter 12. Prayers to develop a millionaire mindset. True wealth does not begin in the outside world, but in the mind. The most prosperous people are not wealthy solely because of their businesses or investments, but because they have cultivated a mental state that attracts and sustains abundance. Poverty, just like wealth, is merely a reflection of subconscious programming that can be transformed at any time. Every person has within themselves the capacity to attract prosperity, but most have been conditioned with limiting beliefs about money. They have been taught that wealth is difficult to obtain, that it is only for a few, that it requires extreme sacrifices, or that money causes problems. These beliefs, implanted during childhood or reinforced by past experiences, form invisible barriers that prevent the flow of abundance from manifesting freely. However, the subconscious is like a fertile garden. Whatever is sown in it will grow. If scarcity thoughts are cultivated, life will reflect lack. But if thoughts of wealth and prosperity are planted, abundance will manifest in all its forms. Prayer is the most powerful tool to reprogram the mind and transform economic reality. How to train the subconscious mind for wealth. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts as truth everything that is repeated with emotion and conviction. That is why those who constantly think about debts, scarcity, or financial difficulties reinforce those states in their lives. Conversely, those who focus their minds on prosperity, financial ease, and unlimited abundance will inevitably attract those conditions. To train the subconscious for wealth, it is essential to feed the mind with thoughts of prosperity every day. Prayer, when repeated with faith and emotion, is the most powerful method to implant new beliefs into the subconscious. Each night before sleeping, repeat with conviction, "My mind is a magnet for wealth. Everything I touch prospers and multiplies. Abundance flows into my life with ease. Money comes to me from multiple sources and in great quantities. God is my inexhaustible source of provision, and my financial well-being is assured. By repeating this prayer daily, it modifies the deepest beliefs and creates a mental state in which prosperity becomes natural and inevitable. The importance of repetition and faith in financial prayer. The power of prayer is not only in the words, but in the constant repetition and the emotion with which it is spoken. The subconscious learns through repetition. What is said once can be forgotten, but what is repeated often becomes a new reality. Many people pray once for wealth and then return to worrying about their financial problems. This behavior confuses the subconscious and weakens the manifestation of abundance. On the other hand, those who sustain a prayer of faith without letting fear or doubt dominate them see surprising results in their finances. To reinforce positive programming, repeat this prayer every morning upon waking. Today is a day of success and prosperity. My thoughts are aligned with wealth. Everything I do generates abundance. Money flows into my life with ease and joy. I receive with gratitude and give with joy, knowing divine provision is inexhaustible. When prayer becomes a daily habit, the mind tunes into the vibration of abundance and economic opportunities begin to appear naturally. Daily prayers to reinforce an abundance mindset. For wealth to be constant in life, a prosperous mindset must be maintained at all times. This means every thought and word must carry the certainty of abundance, not the fear of scarcity. Here are some prayers to repeat throughout the day to reinforce a mindset of wealth. At the start of the day, today I am in perfect harmony with abundance. Everything I need comes to me at the right time. I am prosperous in all areas of my life. Before making a financial decision, I trust myself and divine wisdom. Every decision I make brings me closer to greater prosperity. Everything I choose is for my good and growth. When receiving money, no matter the amount, I bless this money and thank it for its presence in my life. It multiplies and returns to me in infinite abundance. Before sleeping each day, my fortune grows. I am surrounded by opportunities. My mind is always open to receive. Abundance is my natural state. When these prayers become daily practice, they train the subconscious to see wealth everywhere and attract it without resistance. How to constantly maintain the vibration of prosperity. Attracting wealth is not about excessive effort, but maintaining an internal vibration aligned with abundance. The energy you emit is the energy you receive. To sustain this vibration of prosperity, it is essential to avoid complaining and worrying. Whenever a negative thought about money arises, replace it with words of wealth. Speaking of prosperity instead of scarcity reinforces the millionaire mindset. Practice daily gratitude. Being thankful for present abundance and for what is on its way accelerates its manifestation. Pray with emotion and certainty. Absolute faith in divine provision removes any barriers preventing prosperity. If you ever feel the vibration of abundance weakening, repeat firmly, I am in perfect harmony with the abundance of the universe. Everything I need is already within me. Wealth is my divine right, and I receive it with love and gratitude. As these affirmations become habitual, the mind reprograms for wealth, and prosperity flows effortlessly. A millionaire mindset is not just a set of positive thoughts, but a deep transformation in how you view money and abundance. Those who cultivate this mindset do not fear scarcity, do not doubt their ability to generate wealth, and are not swayed by external circumstances. From today, commit to training your mind daily with prayers of prosperity. Do not allow doubt or fear to take you away from your divine right to abundance. Remember, God is an inexhaustible source of wealth, and everyone who aligns their thinking with this truth will experience prosperity in their life. In the next chapter, we will explore how to integrate prayer with action, creating financial habits that reflect a life of total abundance. Prayer opens the doors to wealth, but inspired action allows you to fully enjoy it. Chapter 13. How to pray for money to flow constantly. Money is a current of energy in constant motion. It is not meant to stagnate or be hard to obtain, but to flow freely toward those who have understood its true nature. The universe is abundant, and wealth is inexhaustible. Yet many people have been programmed to believe in limitation, scarcity, and the constant struggle for economic survival. These beliefs, when held in the subconscious, become barriers that block the free flow of money. It is not the lack of opportunities that keeps a person in lack, but the mental attitude with which they face life. Prayer is the most powerful channel to align the mind with abundance. It is not about begging or asking out of desperation, but about declaring with absolute faith that wealth is already a reality in the spiritual realm, and that its manifestation in the material plane is inevitable. Those who pray from the certainty that divine provision is guaranteed activate spiritual laws that cause money to flow constantly and effortlessly. Many people make the mistake of praying from lack, asking for money with anxiety and worry, unaware that this attitude reinforces the idea that scarcity is real. Instead of pleading for prosperity, it is necessary to confidently affirm that wealth is already present, even if it is not yet visible to the physical eyes. Faith is the force that transforms prayer into reality, and when one prays with the conviction that abundance is inevitable, reality begins to change in harmony with that belief. For money to flow without interruptions, prayer must become a daily habit, a constant practice that reinforces the certainty of infinite provision. It is not enough to pray occasionally or only when facing financial difficulties. The mind must be trained every day to recognize abundance as a natural state. Every thought of lack must be replaced by a thought of prosperity. Every word of worry must be replaced by an affirmation of wealth. Prayer is not only an act of communication with the divine, but a process of mental reprogramming that transforms the consciousness of poverty into a consciousness of abundance. Throughout the day, it is possible to maintain the vibration of prosperity through short but powerful prayers that reinforce the certainty that money flows effortlessly. Upon waking, it is recommended to affirm with gratitude that wealth is already on its way. During the day, whenever a worry arises, firmly repeat that everything is in divine order and that provision arrives at the perfect time. Before sleeping, it is important to visualize an inexhaustible stream of money flowing into life with ease and joy. These daily practices strengthen faith and create a new subconscious programming where scarcity ceases to exist. The key to money flowing constantly is trusting in divine provision without anxiety or impatience. Many people block their prosperity because even though they pray, they remain worried about when and how the money will come. Faith does not doubt or question, but rests in the assurance that everything is in perfect order. Those who trust in abundance do not fear external circumstances, do not anguish over waiting times, nor are they carried away by uncertainty. Their security does not come from the money in their bank account, but from their unwavering connection to the infinite source of provision. From this moment on, commit to praying with absolute certainty that wealth is your natural state. Repeat each day with conviction. Money flows constantly in my life. I always have more than enough. Abundance is my divine right, and I receive it with joy and gratitude. God is my inexhaustible source of wealth, and my finances are in perfect balance. By making this prayer a habitual practice, the subconscious will align with the vibration of prosperity, and money will begin to come in unexpected ways. Abundance is not a privilege for a few, but a universal law that responds to those who have learned to live in harmony with it. Chapter 14. Prayers to bless money and make it grow. Money is energy, and like all energy, it responds to the vibration with which it is treated. Those who curse money, treat it with distrust, or handle it with fear and uncertainty, are closing the door to abundance and limiting their financial growth. On the other hand, those who bless money, who see it as a divine channel of well-being and expansion, multiply their wealth with ease. Blessing is one of the most powerful spiritual laws. When consciously applied to money, it transforms its nature and turns it into an instrument of continuous prosperity. To bless money means to recognize it as a manifestation of divine abundance. It is not to see it as mere paper or something that comes and goes uncontrollably, but as a tangible representation of the creative energy flowing in the universe. When money is blessed before using it, it becomes infused with a vibration of growth and expansion. Those who spend without fear but with gratitude, who give with joy and trust, who receive with appreciation and security, are multiplying their wealth on the spiritual plane before it manifests in the material world. Every time you receive money, no matter the amount, bless it with gratitude. Instead of saying, "This is not enough," or "It will soon run out," hold it in your hands and declare with faith, "I bless this money with love and gratitude. I receive it with joy, and I know it multiplies in infinite abundance. Every bill and every coin are channels of prosperity flowing toward me in unexpected and wonderful ways." By doing this, the subconscious begins to program itself for multiplication, and money ceases to be a worry, becoming a constant flow. Just as it is important to bless the money you receive, it is also essential to bless the money you give. Many people pay bills with resentment, give money with fear, and make purchases with worry. But money given with fear leaves quickly, while money given with gratitude returns multiplied. Before paying any expense, say with certainty, "This money returns to me multiplied. I release it with gratitude. Divine provision never stops. Everything I give with love comes back to my life in wonderful ways and in greater abundance." This principle of blessing is closely linked to the spiritual law of sowing and economic reaping. In the universe, everything that is sown is harvested. Those who sow scarcity in their minds harvest limitations in their lives. Those who sow thoughts of abundance reap effortless prosperity. But sowing does not only occur on the mental plane, it also happens on the material plane. Every act of generosity, every offering, every gesture of gratitude with money is a seed that sooner or later will bear fruit. Those who hold money with fear of losing it cause it to stagnate, but those who let it flow with confidence allow it to return in greater measure. It is not about spending without awareness, but about handling money with the certainty that its flow is inexhaustible. Prayer is the most powerful tool to ensure that money becomes a channel of continuous prosperity. Every time you make a purchase, every time you invest, every time you receive or give money, firmly repeat, "This money is a blessing and only generates more blessings. It is a channel of divine prosperity flowing without interruption in my life. I receive it, I use it, and I multiply it with wisdom and gratitude." When blessing money becomes a daily practice, the subconscious aligns with wealth, and money stops being a cause for worry to become an inexhaustible source of well-being. The universe responds to the energy with which money is handled, and those who see it as a channel of infinite prosperity never experience scarcity again. From this moment on, commit to blessing every amount of money that passes through your hands and trust that there will always be more than enough. Abundance is a universal law. When lived in harmony with it, wealth becomes a permanent state. Chapter 15. Prayers to share your prosperity with the world. True wealth is not just what is accumulated, but what is shared with love and gratitude. Generosity is the key that opens the doors to inexhaustible abundance. For in the act of giving, the universal law of return is activated. Money, like all energy, is not meant to be held with fear or greed, but to flow freely. Those who give joyfully and without fear receive multiplied blessings. The universe responds to the vibration emitted. Those who live with a scarcity mindset, holding tightly to the little they have for fear of losing it, end up experiencing limitations. But those who give with confidence, knowing abundance flows effortlessly toward them, see their finances expand in unexpected ways. Generosity is the supreme act of faith in divine provision because it shows absolute certainty that there will always be more than enough. In all spiritual teachings, the principle of multiplication is linked to the ability to share. Jesus multiplied the loaves and fishes to feed thousands because the act of giving is the clearest sign of trust in God's infinite provision. The one who gives receives. The one who blesses others is blessed. Money shared with love does not disappear but returns increased, like a seed planted that yields an abundant harvest. Prayer is a powerful tool to bless others, and ensure that every act of generosity becomes a gateway to greater prosperity. Before giving any amount of money, big or small, bless it with intention. God is my inexhaustible source of wealth. I share with love and gratitude, knowing that all I give returns to me multiplied. I bless this money and the person who receives it, wishing them abundance and well-being. I know the universe always provides me with more than I need, and today I open myself to receive even greater prosperity. Each time you give money with this prayer in your heart, you are sowing seeds of abundance in your own life. It is not about giving out of obligation or sacrifice, but doing so with the certainty that sharing prosperity allows wealth to flow back in unimaginable ways. Many people have transformed their lives through prayer and giving. Those who have learned to share joyfully have experienced financial miracles, unexpected income increases, opportunities that seemed impossible, and a well-being that cannot be measured in money alone. A woman facing financial difficulties began blessing and sharing the little she had with faith and gratitude. Instead of clinging to every coin with fear, she started giving small amounts to those in need, affirming with each act, "I give joyfully and receive abundantly." Soon after, she received an unexpected job offer that helped her overcome her crisis and prosper like never before. Another man, who had feared losing his money for years, began applying the principles of blessing and generosity in his business. Every time he received payment, he set aside a portion to help others and prayed before making any major transaction. All I give returns to me multiplied by infinite divine provision. In less than a year, his business grew exponentially, and the income that once seemed limited became a steady, unstoppable flow of wealth. These testimonies prove that abundance is not only a bank balance, but a state of consciousness. Those who understand that giving is receiving never fear their finances again. Money is a tool for expansion, blessing, and growth, and when used with this mindset, it never lacks, never runs out, and never stops flowing. From today, make generosity a daily spiritual practice. The amount does not matter. The intention with which you give does. If you have much, give generously. If you have little, give with faith, knowing you are planting a harvest of abundance for the future. Each time you share, do it with this prayer in your heart. I give with love, gratitude, and certainty that abundance is my divine right. Everything I release returns to me multiplied. Prosperity flows in my life and in the lives of those around me. I bless every person I share with, and the universe rewards me with riches in all forms. When generosity becomes a habit and prayer accompanies the act of giving, abundance establishes itself as an unbreakable law in the life of its practitioner. Wealth circulates where it is allowed, and the greatest demonstration of trust in infinite provision is sharing with joy and without fear. Money is only an expression of abundance, but true prosperity goes far beyond the material. The one who lives with a generous heart, a mind blessed by prayer, and certainty that nothing will ever be lacking has found the key to a life of lasting wealth. This is not the end of the teaching, but the beginning of a new reality. From today, pray with faith, give with joy, bless your money, and watch how the universe responds with limitless prosperity. Conclusion: living a life of prayer and abundance. Abundance is not an isolated event or a stroke of luck. It is a state of consciousness cultivated and strengthened by constant practice. It is not about occasionally praying when money is needed, but making prayer a lifestyle in which connection to divine provision is unbreakable. Those who understand that wealth is the natural manifestation of a mind aligned with abundance never fear scarcity again, because they have learned to trust the infinite generosity of the universe. Prayer is not only a tool to attract prosperity, but the bridge that unites spiritual wealth with material wealth. Those who seek only money without developing their spirituality will sooner or later discover that external wealth does not fill the inner void, and those who develop spiritually without understanding the principle of abundance can fall into the trap of renunciation and limitation. But the one who unites faith with wealth, who recognizes that God did not create scarcity but fullness, lives a life of balance, expansion, and joy. Absolute trust in divine provision is the key to maintaining an inexhaustible flow of wealth in all its forms. Money is not something to be sought desperately, but something naturally attracted when the mind is free of doubts and fears. Life is designed to provide everything necessary for the well-being of every human being, but only those who know how to receive without resistance can fully enjoy the abundance around them. The universe responds to certainty in the same measure it responds to doubt. The one who believes in scarcity will experience it, but the one who believes in wealth will see their life filled with opportunities. It is not enough to pray with words. Prayer must become an unshakable conviction, a daily habit, a second nature. Every thought must reflect the certainty of abundance, every action be filled with trust and gratitude, and every word reaffirm the reality of infinite prosperity. Those who do this no longer see money as a problem, but as universal energy flowing freely through their life. From today, live with the certainty that abundance is your natural state. There is no lack, no shortage, no scarcity, only an inexhaustible source of wealth waiting to be accepted and received with gratitude. Each morning upon waking, pray with faith. I give thanks because abundance flows in my life constantly and effortlessly. I trust in divine provision and know I always have more than enough. Today is a day of opportunities, blessings, and growth. I'm aligned with infinite wealth, and everything I need comes to me at the perfect time. Each night before sleeping, reaffirm your trust in the law of prosperity. Thank you, God, because everything in my life is in balance. My thoughts, my actions, and my words reflect the certainty of abundance. Tomorrow, I will wake with new opportunities, new ideas, and more wealth than I ever imagined. Everything is in divine order, and my prosperity is inevitable. When prayer becomes a habit, when faith remains firm regardless of external circumstances, and gratitude is the natural response to any situation, the whole life transforms. Abundance ceases to be a distant goal and becomes the only reality. From this moment on, commit to living with absolute certainty that all you need is already yours. God is your source, faith is your bridge, and abundance is your destiny. Keep your mind aligned with this truth. Pray with conviction, act with confidence, and watch how wealth flows without limits in every aspect of your life. You were born to prosper, and the universe is ready to manifest in your life everything your heart desires.